You are listening to the Home Service Business Success Show. We have been accelerating the path of success for home service companies since 2011.
It's not dead. It's such a great strategy, and so many people got away from it for so long.
That's where the letter comes into play. The letter creates the need and then fulfills that need.
I mailed the same letter for 7 years straight for a certain time of year for a certain replacement product.
Have you been in my house before and seen my process of how I sort mail at my house?
Hey everybody, welcome back. Home Service Business Success Show. I'm your host, Kenny Chapman, Chris Crew. With me today, we're going to keep talking about marketing maybe more than one more time, but how are you, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm doing really good. I refer to this. I know as like host, co-host, however you want to look at that. I kind of feel like you're driving the motorcycle and I'm in the little sidecar. Because I've always felt like I've never actually rode in a sidecar before. By the way, I've never rode in one of those. But every time I see people in those sidecars and see the little videos and pictures, it looks so exhilarating because you're basically attached to something that, and it's got a handlebar in it. There's no seat belt, and it's all attached to somebody else that's riding a motorcycle. So
there you go.
I said that to say this. This is a blast.
This is a blast. And here's what's fun about this is oftentimes I hop out of the seat into the sidecar and you jump over and you grab the handlebars and we're going to monkey it back and forth and hop back and forth. That's what we do. And today we're here to talk about direct mail marketing. It's an old school strategy, Chris, that a lot of people have given up on. We're finally piquing the interest of some clients again and seeing blue collar members embrace it. And it's not dead. It's such a great strategy. And so many people got away from it for so long. But today we're going to keep it short and sweet and just get you to thinking again and share a couple of little strategies. But, why does direct mail still work? Like, what is it? How do we know this?
Well, number one, we still have mailboxes, Kenny. But let's just start with the obvious. So until we get to a point to where there's no mailboxes, because we think about in the old days, that's how we got information. That's how you got your newspaper. It was delivered to your mailbox. So internet has changed the landscaping of it, but direct mail won't die until mailboxes die.
Correct. Because it's human behavior. And the thing that is always the reminder for you is when you have your marketing mindset hat on, when you're looking through that lens, you see everything as marketing. And most people, they get their mail and they sort their mail over the trash bin, right? So they get the mail, they go in and it's like most of it's going
Have
right
you
in the
been in
trash
my
bin.
house before and seen my process of how I sort mail at my house?
Right. And every so often you have one. The lovely Christy and I, she goes through the mail and then she'll leave the stack for me to go ahead and take a look at. And it might be 10% on average of anything that has any value to us to look at. That 10%, however, can change depending on what's going on in our personal lives, depending on what is in our reticular activating system of our brain of what we're looking for, depending on these things. And Chris, the rest of the time, all we're doing is throwing away an insurance ad, an American Family direct mail piece, a credit card that came, and the non-marketer in my brain goes, junk mail. And the marketer in my brain goes, I've gotten this piece 4 months in a row. This thing must really be working for them as I throw it in the trash.
Well, let's also say this, Kenny. Direct mail is not just traditional envelope letter style. It's also postcards. It's also shared mailings. Like there's a lot of, once again, direct mail means I'm getting directly to the mailbox, right? And if I get to the mailbox directly, it's so funny. I always get the one that says, Chris Crew or current residents. I'm like, that ain't even making the cut. Y'all suck at marketing.
Right. Exactly.
So I don't want to lose the value of believing that direct mail is just envelopes and letters, although those are not dead either as a part of direct mail.
No, they're not.
Postcard. Kenny, here's the most creative one that I've seen so far. It was a manila envelope, like a documents folder. and they spent good money on it. And it said, important documents enclosed. Like, it looked super legit, and I opened it. Holy smokes, was I blown away. Get this. I don't know why or how, but Land Rover had targeted me and sent me a full color magazine on their new series that they just I forgot it. I'm not a Land Rover fan. I don't even know why they found me. I'm sure I ended up on some list because of my recent purchase of another vehicle. They were like, "Oh, that's our demographic. Send him one." I guess. I don't know. I looked at Chelsea and I was like, this had to be a $10 piece a piece. Like,
Right.
had to be. So it works.
And that's the thing, is why can they send a $10 piece? I've been in marketing masterminds over the years where people would mail iPads, new iPads with one video loaded on them about their product or service. Because if you get an iPad in the mail, you're probably going to open it up. And if there's a preloaded video on it, you're going to watch it. And if you've got a $10, $15, $20,000 ticket, then you can send out some iPads in order to do that. Back in the day, you can send a Land Rover brochure at $10. Now, we may not have that luxury, but we don't go, oh, it's dead and it doesn't work for plumbing, heating, air, electrical, garage doors, carpet cleaning, fill in the blank, so on and so forth. So it is alive and well. You've just got to know your demographic. You've got to know your avatar, just like other mediums. And Chris, this is really about, like on social, you're trying to catch somebody with a visual and then keep them engaged as they're watching. Where the interesting thing about direct mail is there's a sequence of events. It's like each time, like, okay, it's like a rung on a ladder or something. Like, oh my gosh, okay, they got the piece in their hand. They brought it in. Now, goal number one, avoid the trash bin while lovely Christy's, sorting the mail over the trash. We got to try to get her to put it in pile number two. That's goal one, right? And then if that one gets triggered, then, and I think sometimes we forget how granular we need to get with messaging and delivery.
Well, that's funny, Kenny. During my time of owning and operating, we would direct mail different pieces to the same house simply for the
Absolutely.
reason of we would do the postcard for the branding and all of that, the offering, and then in conjunction with that, your traditional envelope mailing with letter style. So it's like now when I open it, I'm like, oh, I've seen that before. Because remember, we go back to marketing fundamentals. People need to see you. I don't know the real answer, could be different, but on average, 7 to 10 times before I take action. Okay, well,
A
it's
bunch.
another
Yep.
interaction. While we're on that, Kenny,
That's
can I
right.
just drop a couple little nuggets on the envelope thing? Uh, envelope number one, envelope has to be appealing and enticing enough that I'm willing to open it. So get away from all the other traditional things that everybody else is doing. I'm a big fan of hand addressed. There's just no shortcut to that. The open rates of a hand addressed envelope goes up exponentially, like versus a typed. That's how you do it. Kenny said, which is make the first cut when it's hand addressed. Oh, who is this? What is that about?
Yep.
Number two, how that letter is folded on the inside is important. So there's two ways to fold a letter: C fold and Z fold. A Z fold would imagine if you held a letter after it was folded twice, it makes three pieces. You hold it up sideways, it'll make a Z in the way it's folded. I learned from a old school direct mail marketer. He said, "C crit, you want to be able to fold it one in and then the other one on top, so that they have to open it to see what it's about. Like, you don't get to
That's
just
right.
read the top headline, be like garbage." So I make
Yeah.
the next cut by getting them to see it, and then this is the third hook: a compelling opening line in the direct mail piece.
Yes. Absolutely. And everything from there forward, and this is going to vary. Like, we could obviously teach a master class just on direct mail, but there's great partners and great vendors. And don't farm out like your own responsibility, however, but each component, now once you're open, the headline is to grab the attention, And then everything in there is about just going to the next thing. In the old school sales letter days, which still work, by the way,
Oh yeah.
every line is simply designed to get you to read the next line. And then PSs matter because people jump to PSs and all the, all the different tactics and strategies and things around that. But I want to keep it short today and quick and just really open your mind to this. And Chris, I think we'd be amiss if we didn't talk about, you talk often about how important the brand is to marketing dollars and leveraging marketing dollars. And I think a lot of people will do a direct mail campaign completely on its own, on a silo, and an offer on a silo, and completely just standalone kind of a thing, and not have it be congruent through other media. If they're on, if they're doing digital, if they're doing TV, if they're doing radio, if they're doing Facebook, if they're doing other social, like there's other ways to bring pieces to life. Calling, having phone calls to the areas that you dropped. And hey, Chris, did you get that recent piece of mail? Like, rather than just cold calling. And what are your thoughts around maximizing that piece or that campaign?
Well, I mean, print in itself is its own strategy. I'll leave it. Print in itself is its own strategy. So I'll say this:
Mhm.
um, you need a plan, Kenny. And I'm going to use this. This might come across a little offensive, but for those that have it, it'll be a good point of reference. I like to refer to it as cocaine marketing. It's good, it's fast, and then it's gone, and you need another one. And so but watch, right? So now I find the direct mail letter that all of a sudden makes the phone ring. So I stop doing everything else.
Oh
And then I
man,
just
here we
it,
go.
it it it's just not good. So for
Right.
me, there is every door direct, which is I mail. You got to be very strategic about this, by the way. Direct mail has a strategic plan. And I'm not here telling you today I'm an expert in direct mail, but as an operator, you got to learn a lot about a lot of things, right?
That's right.
And I learned that consistency is key, number one, which means I don't do one drop and then go, the phone didn't ring. I'm going to have to probably plan mentally on at least 4 times, at least
Yep.
four. And I'm a big fan of doing it for more than that, but at least four before I can go, are we even getting any response? And if not, either the offer was wrong, it didn't make the cut of the trash can, or quite frankly, Kenny, I'm going to say this: you mailed to the wrong house. And so we live in a world today where you can get very specific because of the internet and information. You can take a pointed approach versus the wide net approach. And both
That's
of them
right.
do have strategies. I did the every door direct and I did direct mail to specific mailing routes because you can do that mailing route. So I'm looking at 3 things. You ready? I'm gonna throw them out there, and as blue collar members, this is not brand new to you. We coach you to this all the time. Citydata.com, if you're going to do this stuff in house, to at least formulate your plan. Citydata.com. I look at median household income, I look at age of home, and then I look at home value, and I layer those 3 things. And here's what I'm going to say, Kenny: in direct mail and all marketing, follow the money.
Yes. Always, always, always be mindful of that. Knowing, slicing down to the exact demographic just exponentially improves your return. And the other thing, to Chris's point, you don't stop doing everything else when something works. And also, I would remind everybody to keep doing what works. The same boring piece that you get it and go, I would throw it right in the trash. And for whatever reason, it works really, really good. I know you had them in your company. I had them in my company. Our clients at Blue Collar have them. I mailed the same letter for 7 years straight for a certain time of year for a certain replacement product. I tweaked the wording 1 year and the results fell through the bottom because I was like, well, let's mess with it. Let's try some. when it works, and use it until it doesn't work and keep that going. And, today, Chris, I think we wanted to keep it short and sweet for everybody, but I really just want the goal of, there's not the magic pill. And because some people have had a little bit of lead flow slow down and a few different things, we're talking about all the things that we need to get back to the basics of everything coming together and working strategic marketing plans, and just don't forget direct mail as you're attacking this and coming from this direction, right?
It once again, it's another avenue that we've layered in. And so a multi layered approach in marketing is always going to win, because all of your customers are not just on TV, just on radio, just on social media. They start to see you in all the places. And so it goes back to one of the things I said, you need a compelling offer as well when you're direct mail, because you've got to be able to quickly diagnose the customer's need, or and in many cases, like postcards, can't create the need. That's where the letter comes into play. The letter creates the need and then fulfills that need, where postcards are very direct response driven
It's just
on
boom. That's
like,
right.
I need this, set this to the side. And so I'm going to give a nugget before we bounce. I'm a big fan of two things in those direct mails. Number one, I'm a big fan of postcards and things like that, having what I consider to be a multiple offer. It could be a tune-up offer, a replacement offer, and a repair offer. So the last thing I'll say is, I've never seen people that do a really good job at this is making offers be percentage based. 10% off, 5% off. Think of, because I don't know how much that means now. But if you
That's
send me
right.
a $50, that's $50. I know what
I
that
get what
means. And
you're, yeah,
so
exactly.
there's a lot of strategic things that we teach here at the Blue Collar Success Group around all of this stuff. But to Kenny's point, sometimes you got to leave things up to the expert, but you can't relinquish your responsibility to be in the know to see if they're feeding you the truth or not.
That's it. You got to walk in your own two shoes. You're driving the bus, get clear, understand, have an abundance mind, implement strategy. Direct mail's not dead. Be mindful of it. It might not be time for you, but don't write it off forever. Just keep on opening your mind. Keep coming back to the show. Let us know how we're doing. Until we talk, ladies and gentlemen, make it a better than fantastic week. Thanks for being here, Chris.
Thank you, Kenny.
See you soon, everybody.